Story 1. Let's be real, it's rarely ever a good question. Those words have me nearly ready to throw up when I hear them. It's never, I have a question, and be honest. Did you take the trash out? Or something simple like that. It's always something they don't want to hear the answer to. Story 2. I got a text from my fiancé the other day saying, after the kids are in bed, we need to talk. I was washed over with guilt for no reason, because I'm boring and don't do anything that I would need to be guilty about. Her kid was being a teenager and she was upset. It's an automatic response, fear of the unknown. Story 3. Because most likely there is no right answer for what she is about to ask. Like my ex used to ask me, how long do you think we'll stay together? What am I supposed to answer to that? Story 4. She has given you permission to drop bombs. Drop them. Any relationship that cannot survive the resulting explosion certainly isn't going to survive marriage. Story 5. Because there is a 50-50 chance she is going to ask a question she does not want answered truthfully. Examples. Do I look fat? You can say the truth and be an asshole, or you can lie and be an asshole for lying. Either way, when people ask for the unvarnished truth, you are usually going to end up being the asshole. Story 6. Because she's about to ask you if she looks fat, or something about a previous relationship, or something about a sensitive topic. She wants to fight about something basically. Story 7. See, when this happens, you play the woman's game of diversion. She makes this statement and you say, why would I lie? And before she can redirect the conversation back to where it was originally, you say, no, I want to discuss this. Why do you automatically assume that I would lie to you? How often do I really lie to you? That's just hurtful. You know what? I just can't handle this right now. And then walk off to another room. Boom. Whatever the conversation was about is now untouchable, and you got off scot-free. Someone gave me an award. Thank you. Story 8. I have never heard a rational woman utter this line. It is aggressive and confrontational from the start. What she actually said is, I want you to break up with me, because this is the start of wild accusations I make up in my head, and will continue to treat you with suspicion no matter your response for our entire relationship. Story 9. I naturally have a guilty conscience. Maybe it's from years of being immature and reckless, but I have done a 180 since meeting my wife and truly don't do anything wrong. Yet if she came to me with something like this, or if my supervisor at work said he needed to talk to me, I instantly get anxiety. Story 10. Because either you have lied to her and she's found out about it, which doesn't seem true in your case based on what you said. Or worse, she thinks she caught you in a lie because Becky told Amber, who told Giselle, who told Stephanie, that she heard from a guy dating Becky's cousin that he thought he saw a guy who looked like you in a different part of town from where you said you were. And since she's already decided you're lying, there's nothing you can say to convince her otherwise. Or worse, she's about to blindside you with a complicated question with no right answers and a lot of wrong ones, or a question you really need time to process your feelings about, but she wants the first thing that comes out of your mouth, and you can never take that back. Story 11. Because of the implication that she already knows the answer but doesn't like it. Because although you know you've done nothing wrong, it prompts you to search your memory banks for something you did that might have upset her. Also, insisting that you don't lie implies a lack of trust, because she felt the need to tell you not to lie instead of just expecting that you will answer her questions honestly. Although I've only ever said this in a situation where a white lie might be expected, such as if I'm asking if he likes my new glasses or if the cut of my dress makes my butt look bigger than it is. It's not that I think he's going to lie to me, but I'm telling him not to alter his words to spare my feelings because this isn't a time when I need reassurance about the size of my butt. It's a time when I need to know if a garment is well suited to my body or not. Story 12. It's called post-traumatic stress disorder because this is the manner in which someone in your life started a conversation that led to a major fight or fights. My current girlfriend could say that, and it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. But my kid's mom or my first wife were generally trying to push me into a minefield when they said that. If a woman says she wants an honest response but then gets mad at your response, then that is abuse. It is a double bind. Story 13. Many fights happen because of misunderstandings between what she thinks you meant and what you actually did. Just because you have nothing to hide and didn't do anything wrong doesn't mean you won't end up in a fight. I used to live with my ex. We did our laundry separately. One day, I went outside and took my clothes hanging on the line. 3 weeks later, we got into a massive fight because she asked me why 3 weeks ago I didn't take her clothes off the clothesline as well. Another time, she used the toilet and I wanted to go in afterwards. After she left, I used air freshener and did my thing. She then argued with me because her smell was lingering, and she was offended that I would use air freshener in front of her. Since then, anytime a woman says, "Can I ask you something?" I get post-traumatic stress disorder and prepare myself for a confrontation. Story 14. If you are anything like me, you always need some sort of plan and backup plan daily. You try to think 1 to 2 steps ahead. This type of question does not allow any time to think and plan, and you panic because you are struggling to anticipate what is coming. Once the question is asked, you immediately feel better because you can now formulate a plan again. Story 15. First, love your handle. To answer your question, it could be lots of things, but I have found that most of the time it will be a question she may ask because she is insecure about something. Do you think I'm pretty? Are my breasts large enough? Your answer should be something that makes her feel more secure. Do not fear any question. You are doing nothing wrong, so no worries. Story 16. Because it makes us retrace ourselves in a matter of milliseconds. And even when we have nothing to hide, we have to take into account perspectives. Something that doesn't seem wrong to us is probably a red flag to our girls. Therefore, she feels like she has to question it. It's just how relationships work. Or your girl plays too much and loves phrasing questions like that. Story 17. Can I blame media for this? Because I'm going to possibly unfairly blame media for this. We often see it as a trope in sitcoms or romantic comedies. Whenever something is phrased like that, it means something bad is coming up. It becomes a subconscious reaction from oversaturation, and the reaction becomes even more pronounced when it happens to you in real life. Story 18. If I said something like that to my boyfriend, I've already got the answer and the proof. I'm really just subconsciously giving him a cue in hopes that he'll answer honestly the first time so I can have at least one salvageable quality or experience from the situation to hold on to. I'm a lot older now and don't feel I should have to prompt my boyfriend not to lie when I ask him a question. If he needs coaching on that, he's not for me. I can ask him point blank, having all the proof I need, and let him answer with a lie or not. I make my decisions from there. Never show your hand before it's your turn to play. Story 19. I feel like the phrasing implies you are not going to like the question, even though you are absolutely fine with 99.9% of the questions she might ask. There is this tiny chance she will ask something actually hard to answer honestly. Story 20. It's because it's a weird way of asking a question. Girls react the same way, though. My girlfriend was scared when I started a question with that. And the follow-up was, do you actually like Star Trek? Or do you just want to watch it because I'm enjoying it? The compromise is we watch The Next Generation together, and I watch Voyager when she's asleep. Story 21. Because women are unpredictable, and you never know what they are about to ask. You are having a normal day, thinking about how they cut those patterns into baseball fields, and out of nowhere, she asks, would you still love me if I were a polar bear? What is wrong with you? Story 22. Female here. Honestly, it could be anything. Whether it is something about an outfit or something about your whereabouts. If you're honest, the question shouldn't matter. Find someone who, when they paraphrase a question like that, you don't feel the need to run. Story 23. If my boss says something like that, I get worried because I might be in trouble. If I lose my job, I'm homeless. If my girlfriend said it, I'd be ready for a tense conversation, but not anxious. I might be in trouble, but first, I know I haven't done wrong. Second, the worst she can do to me is dump me. If I lose my girlfriend, I'm sad for a while, then I find a new one. Much more to lose emotionally, but way easier to recover from than a loss of income. Story 24. Honestly, the only real-life person I knew who phrased things like that question was a cheater, B, projecting, C, manipulative as anything, D, a chronic liar, E, overweight and unhappy, and wanting to blame me for it. I would shut her down. I don't have any answers for someone who thinks I'm prone to lying. I will spend today or this week in the company of people more positive and healthy for me to entertain. Peace. Story 25. I would have to assume mentally it's because of the same reason that when people say stuff like don't look behind you or don't think about it, you do anyways. It's your brain preparing you for the worst. You basically get hit with the fight or flight response, but it's also because 90% of the time that question will pretty much end in an argument. Story 26. It sets you up to assume you're in a no-win situation. If it has to be prefaced with do not lie, it is obviously a question that will require an uncomfortable answer, and I am sure we are all at least somewhat experienced with relationships where a truthful answer, even if requested, leads to a fight. Story 27. Because you are dreading her imminent irrational attack and putting you in an impossible situation in which no matter what you say, she will never admit her position is wrong. Here come the downvotes. Story 28. It is a trap, plain and simple. Just as a prosecuting attorney will never ask a question unless they already know the answer. However, in this environment, she thinks she knows the answer but actually does not. That does not matter though, because she has already convinced herself that she does. So, you are doomed no matter what you say, and that causes our heightened survival instincts to kick into high gear. So, you are a normal dude. Dude. Story 29. Whenever I hear that phrase, my first thought is, oh boy, here we go. Story 30. Because it's always a trap. Usually there is no right answer to those types of questions. Men do it too. The only reason someone would start a question off that way is because they know the truth is probably going to be unpleasant. Story 31. It's upsetting that you think honesty isn't my default setting and are ordering me to be something I'm already doing. That part didn't need to be said, so what did I do this time? Story 32. Because your parents' interrogation style when you were younger created a physical state in your body, now your body has a built-in stress response and goes into alert mode. Story 33. It's worse when your best friend's girlfriend, who is also your best friend, asks this. My response is usually, but on the inside, I'm absolutely frozen. Story 34. My new at the time girlfriend did this to me through text, and it gave me that feeling as well, even though I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. Then she sends me a picture of her new birth control with the caption, "Are you ready to party or what?" Story 35. Inside a relationship, that almost always means there's been something on her mind for days, weeks, or months that she knows she's probably not going to like an honest answer to and is going to lead to a tough but hopefully productive and mature conversation. Runner-up is when you've started seeing a girl and she asks, "Is there anything else you want to say?" In my experience hearing it twice, it was essentially asking if I was in love or was falling in love with her. Story 36. I'd say it depends on your relationship with this woman. Do you trust her? Is she really interested in what you have to say? Or is she looking to flex and or manipulate you? Trust your intuition. You may be panicking for good reasons. Story 37. Even though, to your knowledge, you didn't do anything wrong, you could have done something you didn't realize was wrong or perhaps forgot about. It can be a scary thought to think you did something wrong while not being able to recall what you actually did. And the way the question is worded implies that you did indeed do something wrong, true or not. Story 38. I don't know what to do. My girlfriend grabs my phone to hand it to me, and I lose my temper. I have nothing on there worth seeing, maybe some self-notes of business ideas like the Ziploc latex glove for picking up dog poop. Story 39. It is a feeling of foreshadowed dread. Due to this, it will be an echo of information used against you as many times as the pink bunny thumps its drum. Remember its fight or flight reaction. Story 40. Well, it means she believes you did something and she is fully convinced about it. Usually, when someone says, "Don't lie," it means the person receiving the question is in quite a bit of trouble. It's like your parents calling you by your full name. It's unusual, uncommon, and we take that as a big red flag when it happens. Story 41. So, what do you really have to hide or have you hidden? Theorists would say brains look for buried memories to draw from to deal with current needs. Like we open an old cabinet to find a file to answer today's question. If those files are messy or musty smelling, when opened, we experience them the way we did when they were last stored. If during previous similar experiences, like when questioned by a girl, you felt guilt or fear, then you will feel those feelings again. So what's the moral of the story? If you're a guy, keep your Mr. Happy out of the wrong file cabinets or just avoid being asked. Story 42. Because she already knows the answer to the question, she wants to see if you will be honest with her. More than likely, it's a no-win situation for you because if she's taking the time to ask, it's something she feels strongly about and the emotion isn't happy. If you have to ask someone to be honest with you, it typically means you don't trust what the person says on a general basis. Could be warranted or unwarranted. I have an approach of not asking me a question if you don't want the truth. I don't even sugarcoat things anymore. I also don't deal with people once I determine I can't trust them. There's no need because life's too short for nonsense.